Hey, welcome to the new video. I'm Divyanshu and I'm an indie hacker. I quit my job last year to build my own mobile apps. And in the last 1 year, I have built 4 mobile apps, 2 WhatsApp bots, and 1 web app. So in this video, we are going to talk about how we can leverage the power of Cursor or Windsurf, whichever IDE you are currently using, or maybe VS Code with Copilot by using some tricks and tips which generally are not available online. So I have found building all these tools, how easy it becomes to develop new tools or new components or new apps using these tools. So in this video, let's dive into that. So this is my project, which is called posthandle.com. I'm currently building it in Cursor and I'm using Cursor for last 6 months. I'm a paid user of their $20 monthly premium plan. So one of the main problem which I found about Cursor was, let's say if I'm working on any project like this and I ask it like from the composer, if I tell it to, okay, install ShadCN button. Just an example, I already have button. I just want to show you. So as you know, it is suggesting me that I should install ShadCN UI, which if I try to run, as you will notice, it will give me an error, command not found, because there is no like npx command, which is ShadCN UI. The real command is ShadCN UI. So this would work. See, it's working now. So I don't want to actually install it. So let's say no, because I already have the button component of ShadCN in this project. So this is one of the problem. It doesn't like, it has an old data which it's trying to work with. And another thing is when you are stuck on any of these issues, sometimes it just recursively talks about different things and the problem still remains same. So you sometimes lose a lot of time while talking to this AI. Another thing is it does not contain the date. Like when I'm talking to Cursor AI from this composer, it does not know what's my project structure look like, and I have to always tell it, or I can just add more context by pressing this button, and then I can select whatever like the MD rules I have written where the tree structure or the project structure is shown. So these are some of the issues which I typically face in my development journey and which makes me slow. Let's talk about the number one thing which really helps Cursor outshine any other IDE out there. Now, whatever I'm speaking here, this is not just for Cursor. This is also for other tool, which is called Windsurf. So at this point, I can say like this is another project which I'm running on Windsurf. I'm not a paid user of Windsurf. I'm just using their free tier, which is I feel is sufficient if you're just starting out to learn these tools. So yeah, with Windsurf, whatever I'm talking about here in Cursor is exactly same with Windsurf. With slight name change, but they both support almost similar features at this point, and they both are competing with each other on the same ground level. So yeah, you will not be missing out on anything because they both are like just fighting for users or the developers. So pick any one of you, whichever you like. I personally feel Cursor better in my opinion because it, like, I started using Cursor long back, even like I think that back then Windsurf was not even released. So number one thing which I currently do is making a .cursor file. If you notice here, like .cursorrules file, and here you can assign a big context to your Cursor project, which knows a lot of things already. So if you make a Cursor rules file, whatever you talk here on the Cursor like compose editor, the Cursor will always know what we are talking about. So one of the tool which I really found handy is using a tree command. So if you are in your project and you use this, you can install with the brew command as well. Like if you are on Mac, you can install this tree extension, which is like brew installed tree. And now when you do like tree, you can also do like what I'm doing is tree-i, which like excludes these modules. Like I don't want to go into the tree of node modules, Git, Expo, iOS, Android, because I work on iOS, Android. And then -l suggests like what kind of hierarchy I want to make. I want to make hierarchy till the 4th root only. So when I press this, as you notice, what this command does, it just prints your hierarchy of your project in terminal. This is a very handy tool. I recently found out about it like a couple of weeks back, and this is my go-to whenever I want to paste my project's hierarchy. So in Cursor rules, this is the number one thing which I paste. I'll go here and I will make like a file structure and I will paste this. Whenever I'm talking to the composer, it always knows what my project structure look like, and I should keep it updated. And I put Cursor rules in the GitHub as well, like Git repo, so that whoever is working in my team should have the same type of rules and not everybody is making their own rules while updating the project. So yeah, I would suggest like put your Cursor rules in your Git. So just to show in this video, what I have done is I have said like always start your reply with the boss and an emoji of like well, like saluting you. So this is what it's done. Like I said, install ShadCN button. It said boss with a salute, and then it started telling me everything about it. Now what I can do is important, right? Whenever you are using ShadCN, use this command only. npx ShadCN UI add. Don't use ShadCN -UI. So I can also do like a highlight. Don't ever use ShadCN UI. And this is a good suggestion. I can also put it here. So let's try this out, like important rules, right? Add ShadCN alert box. Let's see. Yeah, so exactly what happened, like we updated our cursor rule, and as you can see, now it's using the npx ShadCN latest, not the ShadCN -UI. So this was an issue with the AI, and we just fixed it. And if you click on it, it will directly run it directly from the command tool. Perfect. One other important thing which I generally do in my code is explaining what tech stack I'm using. This really helps. Like sometimes you're talking to the composer, it would not know that maybe you are using ShadCN, but there are many other like a UI libraries. So it would give you answer in that. So it's very important for like, again, very important to give the full context of your project. So you should specifically tell we are using ShadCN. So whatever UI components it would give you on your reply would be based on this. Another thing which I really love about Cursor is how you can just directly create these files. For example, like see, I have changed three files, right? I can just click on this button, generate commit message, and it will write a very simple like message for me here, which makes proper sense. I can then edit it before committing, or I can just directly commit directly from here. One thing which I always use in my git commits or all my projects is a specific git commit message, which is like fix for like if I have made any fix for bug fixes, feat is for if I have added a complete new feature, perf is for like if I have done some performance improvements, docs is I'm just improving docs, which you just saw here in this example, and another is like if I'm just doing the style changes, refactor, test, and some code like some just maintenance task if I'm doing. So this is a standard thing which I have all across all my projects. So this is the way I want these commit message to be created. A few of the things which I have also worked with is the code style and structure. So this cursor rules, I will put this as a link in the description of this video. You can directly copy it, but I would highly suggest don't just copy paste in your project. Make it your own custom rules, and every time you make any small change in your project, keep it up to date as well. The better updated this file will be, the much better responses you will receive on the cursor, and it will be much easier for you to code. Now this is the same thing with Windsurf. Like if you go to Windsurf, you can create a new file which is called Windsurf rules, and here you can write the same thing here. Like I can just copy paste directly here, and all the rules are here. I'll just update it based on whatever project I'm working on, and it will follow it on the terminal. Now, the new thing which Windsurf has recently released is this agentic flow. So Cursor is not so agentic, like whatever you ask it, it gives you the response. That's it. It stops there. But Windsurf's latest release, which came out, which I'll be making a proper dedicated video, pros and cons between Windsurf and Cursor, is it goes into doing these things and talks to itself, try to fix things. If it found any bug, it tried to fix it itself. So I feel it's much more powerful at this time, but I think with Cursor will catch it up in their next update. So yeah, this is what my cursor rules look like, and this is what have helped me a lot in my projects. Another thing which I have started doing is creating an instructions folder, and inside the instructions folder, what I do is I just type whatever feature I'm trying to feature I will work on today. And here I just type feature 1. Let's add you say text timeline in the timeline window or timeline component, right? And another feature would be add video preview in the studio section, right? So this is like instruction I've given. Now I can go and talk to it. Let's say if I'm in this chat, add the feature 1 instructions. See, so I have just written it on the instructions. I do not have to explain it every time, and that's what we are doing. I just added the instructions here, and it will start writing and changing all the code in my timeline layer. I can just click on apply and this will be applied on my file. Later on, I can go into the project and try to test it out. I would really appreciate if this would be more agentic, like if it's testing it itself and telling me how it looks like. That is the future of these IDs in the next couple of months. But yeah, so far this has helped me immensely on speeding up my development process, and I can push more code or more features out very quickly. So another interesting thing which I really like about Cursor is the commit diff. So if you click on commit diff command, and if you want to get reviewed before you want to like commit it, you want to see if AI can find any bug on it or anything which you might have not think about. So it gives you a very basic review here on the chat, which I use quite a lot of time. So yeah, as you can see, I noticed several key changes in the repo. So I just give it a glance, like what we have changed: added explicit rule, a new component. So we have added this new timeline, audio timeline layer. Okay, so another interesting thing which Cursor or Windsurf both provide is having a cursor ignore. So you can create a cursor ignore file where you can tell which kind of files you do not want to send to their server. So I generally put .env, which like contains all my environment variables. I do not want it to be sent to their server, or they should not know about this file at all. As a security, like if you're working on a big project or big team, you do not want to send all your credentials to their server. So env should always be in the cursor ignore. It's similar to how get ignore works. So from Firebase, you have like Google services. You can give it here, Google services account JSON. You do not want it to sync as well. Similarly, you might have other like key or encrypted keys which you have locally in your machine, which you do not want to sync with Cursor server. So you can use the cursor ignore command. Okay, so this was it. This was all the things which I have learned and helped me speed up my product development, and which is helping me. AI is helping me push more code out there. And if you want to know more about these kind of tips and tricks, which I keep sharing as I learn along my journey, I will be posting more videos about it. So please feel free to subscribe to this channel or like this video. And I really appreciate if you comment and your feedbacks on it, or if you know any trick which I haven't shared in this video. And I always go live at 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. weekdays, Indian Standard Time. So if you want to hang out with me, discuss tech, we do that in the channel. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye-bye.